Hi everybody, it's Dr. Saigo. Welcome back to Global Perspectives in Sustainability. This is the Module 3 introduction, and I will share a few slides to help you get started and complete your work for the week. So this week we're talking about social justice and sustainability. And first I want you to think about how your actions affect the people and systems around you. You might be in the habit already of thinking about how your behavior and decisions affect the people in your family or your neighborhood or your office. But it's probably true that there are effects that you don't think about, that you don't notice, or that aren't immediate, so that they might happen long after you actually take an action, that those ripples will reach something or someone else that they affect. And this even includes future generations. So when we think about sustainability, it's important to not just think about what we can do right now, but also how we can take care of things for the future a little bit so that future people have the same resources available and opportunities that we have now. So let's go through some definitions. Social justice. This can have, sort of a political flavor to it, I guess. But really, it's a simple concept that everyone should have fair access to resources, opportunities, and rights, and it shouldn't depend on who they are or where they come from. Diversity is like just having a good variety, a variety of different people, ideas, perspectives, and then valuing and respecting that variety and what makes each of us unique. Perspective taking is trying out different points of view and trying to put yourself in someone else's shoes so that you can look at a situation or a system or a problem and see what it might look like from someone else's perspective. This can help you understand the whole thing better rather than just looking at it from one side. You try to look at it from different sides so that you get a better idea of what the whole thing looks like. And then conflict resolution is bringing together people with different interests or opinions and ideologies and figuring out ways that what they have in common so that they can work together even though they have differences. There are a couple of terms that come up when we're talking about social justice and sustainability that are very similar, but they are importantly different that I wanted to highlight. So these are equality and equity. So equality means that everyone gets the same, regardless of whether they need it or whether it's right for them. So you see in this illustration, there are 3 green bicycles, and this rider is too small for this bike. This rider looks like they can use the bike perfectly well, and this person can't ride the bike because they are in a wheelchair. They use a wheelchair and already have wheels. Equity, on the other hand, means that everyone gets what they need based on their circumstances and conditions. So here, the smaller person has a smaller bike. The person in the middle, the original bike worked fine, and the wheelchair user can also ride along off trail. I liked this illustration also. So equality is giving everyone a shoe. Equity is giving everyone a shoe that fits their foot. So let's go over some key points to help think through. These are like the highlights that I would like you to look for and pick out while you're reading and going through the resources this week. So the first important point is that you can't really have sustainability without justice. The second one is sustainable systems are designed to provide everyone fair access to resources and opportunities. And with that one, I would add it's important to have fair access and a fair distribution of resources and opportunities or benefits of sustainability. It's also important to make sure that the burdens or the costs are also fairly distributed. So if everything overall, if sustainability is improving, but the benefits are concentrated in one region or with one group of people, and the burdens are concentrated in another area or with another group of people, that's not sustainable. So sustainability really requires that things be distributed equitably. The third point is that the way we view the world affects our actions, and sometimes our actions can have unexpected impacts on others. The fourth idea is that different people can have conflicting needs and ideas. 5, perspective taking can help us bridge gaps and understand different points of view. And 6, resolving conflict is a challenge to building sustainable systems. So, how can we work together when we have differences? Okay, what will you be turning in this week? Your discussion post, your initial post is due Thursday by midnight, and the topic is sustainability and social justice. For this, you can find your own example. It can be a recent event, it can be a personal experience, or something from pop culture or literature or music or a movie. But be sure to share the source that you're talking about so that we can read more about it. And then for your responses to at least 2 classmates, that's due Sunday by midnight. And that's where you're going to read what your classmate has written and try to offer some ideas that can help resolve the conflict. So, given the different sides represented in their example, let's see if we can bring them together. And then the short paper for this week, also due Sunday by midnight, is actually your first draft of your project. So I recorded a separate video with tips on doing the project, so go watch that if you haven't. But keep in mind that you are provided a project template, which is a Word document where you're going to actually be doing your writing and turning it in. So you don't need to create your own document. The project template has 3 parts, and for this week, I'm only going to be grading part 1. So you don't have to do 2 and 3. You can if you want to. I'm still only going to grade part 1 this week. So give that a look. Also, you have other documents to help you with the project. You have the project guidelines and rubric, and with all the details about how it's going to be scored and the details of how to do it. And then you have the project examples document that has some research starters and some ideas of things that you might want to write about, or you can choose your own topic. Just be sure that you send me an email so that we can make sure that it's going to suit the project, because you're going to be writing about the same topic for both drafts and then the final project. So you'll be writing about the same topic for Module 3 paper, Module 5 paper, and turning it in during Module 7 for the final project. Okay, so the one big thing for this week is that true sustainability requires a fair and equitable world. And look for the invisible connections between your beliefs, actions, and systems. That's it for this week. I'm here to help, so get in touch if you need some answers or help getting started on the project. Sometimes it can seem a little overwhelming, but it's not that bad. Watch my other video or send me an email, send me a text, give me a call. I am here to help you. All right, have a great week. Thank you.